struggling here. Remember last time out in Chile, we saw Ollie Turvey have an amazing qualifying, getting himself into that top 6. And then the two Mahindras I've already spoken about that had changed their gearbox, so put to the back of the field, and also drive-throughs. Both, I think, took their drive-through before the safety car. So that is actually a real benefit for them. They will be very happy to have had a to have the safety car to allow them to get back to the back of the field. Catch back up to the back of the field, shall I say. Whilst we are in the safety car conditions, a quick reminder of exactly where we're at. Last year we had 2 races in Diriyah, and the winning drivers were Sam Bird on the Saturday and Alexander Sims on the Sunday. And then we went to Santiago in Chile mid-January, and Maxi Günther for BMW took the victory. But such was the consistency of Stoffel Vandoorne, he was one of the only drivers coming into this race that had scored in all 3 races. And actually, I think it was one of the few drivers that have finished in all 3 races. So Stoffel Vandoorne with a 3rd in both races in Saudi Arabia and then a 6th in Chile. And that's why he leads the championship coming into this race. But such is the spread of talent in Formula E, and such is the early part of the championship that really, when it comes to London in July, anything could have happened. We've got Mexico right now, and 2 weeks' time Marrakesh follows it. The Sanya Prix has been cancelled, and therefore we're not going to China. Instead, we go from Marrakesh directly to Rome, a track we know well. Paris next, also a track we've been to for the last couple of years. And then Seoul and Jakarta over in Asia, 2 brand new circuits, followed by Berlin and New York City. The Tempelhof track is expected to hold a 2nd race, or maybe New York, to make up for the lack of Sanya. And the championship will finish in London. A new track in the XL building, and part of the track will go through the XL building, go inside. And that will be quite a spectacle, especially if it's anything like the UK weather and it rains. Right, safety car is in this lap. We've got 36 minutes remaining of the race, plus 1 lap, and now we can really get the race started. Field looks very well bunched. Of course, they don't want to use very much energy, but it doesn't matter so much these days, because once that safety car is released, the race control will subtract a certain amount of energy from the cars so that there is still energy management going on in the race. Last year we saw such a performance from this Gen 2 car that when the safety car was out, it allowed them to save so much energy that then we could have a flat-out race to the line, and that's not really what Formula E is all about. The fascinating thing is the lifting and coasting, the preserving of energy. We're back underway, and Andrea Lotterer looking under pressure from Sam Bird in 4th position. Bird decides against it going into turn 1 though. Brian's in 5th, De Vries in 6th, Verne de Costa, Mortara and Vandoorne your top 10. But not really a braking zone into turn 1. Better overtaking at turn 3, and there's contact between De Vries and Prins. The 2 Dutchmen getting together, but getting away with it. And then into turn 5, a bit further back, some potential moves. James Collado being pushed to the outside and losing a spot to Neil Jarni for a moment. A little bit of damage to Andrea Lotterer's car, where there was a bit of contact. Sam Bird desperately trying to make a move down the inside into the Foro Sol, and that's a beautiful move from Sam Bird. Gets him up into 3rd position for Virgin, and this is much more like it. This is what they want to see. It's been difficult since that win in Diriyah, retired on the Sunday and only picked up a solitary point in Chile, but now back into the mix and into the thick of things for Sam Bird. And that's exactly what you can do going into Foro Sol. The right-hand corner sets you up to then do a lunge into the left-handers in the Foro Sol. And Lotterer is really struggling. Frines up the inside into turn 1. And Lotterer has to get out of it. And he's got out of the throttle, and that's allowed De Vries to get past as well. Lotterer down to 6th position now. Lotterer looking to try and find a way back past into turn 3, but there was no space. And now he's got his old teammate, Jean-Eric Verne, behind him. De Costa as well. His new teammate to Jean-Eric Verne. Oh, and Felipe Massa with damage to the front end of his car. He's out of the race. What happened there? Looks like he's hit someone or something. But Felipe Massa out of the race as James Collado moves up into 13th past Neil Jarni. Marc Guinard has also had an issue, dropping to the tail of the field in his Mahindra. Lost a couple of spots, and the first of the attack modes are activated by Ollie Rowland this time in 12th position for Nissan. You don't lose a huge amount of time activating attack mode if you move to the inside line. You're offline, but you're able to then defend going into the next of the left-handers. So whilst you may lose a little bit of time, unlikely to lose track position like you would have done perhaps in Diriyah. So Ollie Rowland then, how is he going to deal with this 17% increase in power over the rest of the field? Got Lucas de Grassi ahead of him and James Collado behind him. It's pretty close, but as I say, they did not lose any positions. His James Collado's teammate, by the way, Mitch Evans, checking out at the front, able to run a much stronger pace than Sebastian Buemi, and Buemi looks like he may be struggling because Sam Bird is all over his gearbox trying to find a way through into Forosol. Bird looking really, really strong in these early stages. And surely a move is going to happen very shortly. Although, Buemi on the power through the Perotada and just pulling a slight gap over Sam Bird through there, so a bit better acceleration. And then going into turn one, Buemi moves to the middle of the road, but I don't think Sam Bird would send it through there anyway. He'll be waiting for a larger braking zone. Oh, further back, Lucas de Grassi down the inside of Stoffel Van Dorn. So that puts de Grassi into the points. Van Dorn out of the points, and Van Dorn may lose another position here to Ollie Rowland trying to get around the outside. Remember, Rowland's got the extra power, 35 kilowatts of extra power. So it should be an easy move for him as Daniel Apps activated his attack mode down in 18th position with Maxi Günther ahead of him. I think he may have lost a position actually by doing that. And now to the outside, Sam Bird still trying to find a way past Buemi. Buemi covering the inside line, going into Forosol. That's where Sam Bird sent it up the inside a few laps ago, but Buemi wise to that, and it's actually pushing Bird into